Hello everybody, Alex is here at another episode of Broken Cards of Hearthstone or Broken Card in Hearthstone. Pick whatever you like more. Anyway, I actually skipped one of my video because I was super tired, but now I can continue, and today we cover Priest and Rogue. So let's get started. So first we have this. I think this card is actually okay. It doesn't seem to be broken or overpowered. Except it's a little make no sense because why should priests have a potion? I mean, priests are not alchemists, so why? I don't know. Then we have this thing, which the same question: why potion? And on top of that, this card is really just another version of different card which do basically same thing. And once again, I have no idea why priests have these effects. I guess I can have like an idea like priest eventually. This is something which priests actually like priests in real life used to do. Basically, go on a mission and pretty much convince the people like joy join their like faith. But to convince somebody to join to your religion is one thing, but and I get the priest ability to control mind of the others is another. I said this many times and I say it again because I think it's really annoying and it make no sense for priest. So in terms of how this card is, I think same thing like here. It's not necessarily overpowered, but it makes no sense. Then we have this card, which seems to be like a stronger base version of this one card. How is this card name? Where is it? It is like stronger version of this card. Except instead of doing enemy one enemy random target, instead call Future Minion, which is effect which is definitely stronger. But at the same time, you don't this previous card which I shown do a randomize effect and B when anyone is healed. But this one is do something with only if this specific minion is healed. So these conditions are a little more difficult to meet, but as a compensation you get stronger cards. So I'm actually okay with this card. I'm actually okay. Maybe I should make the 1-2 crystal or 2-1, one or the another. But I don't think it's too bad. I think this card is pretty much okay. So then we have this. Okay, this card is overpowered. Like usually, battle cries have a lower stats below what's difficult for their price because that's basically price which they pay for having some special ability. In case of this union, it's a plus 3 for health, which is relatively a lot. But notice not this card because have stats which are actually above the average, and on top of that, really strong battle cry effect, which can be used in like if there is like something like a death rattle, then you can simply silence the minion or control or destroy or something, and you can basically prevent using that effect. With what like Rise you can. It's simply something with that happens. So this card is overpowered. There are cards which are much more overpowered, but I think with health like this one, this card get like stats like 2-2 or 3-2. All will be like much more balanced. I think this is way too much. Then we have yet again another potion. Restore to 12 health friendly character for 4 mana. I think that's actually kind of standard as a healing effect. Once again, it's a potion and it makes no sense. So other than that, that's it. And we have a discard which okay, discard is another card which makes no sense because that is the same thing which I said before. If you play specific deck, then you usually need the cards being able to interact with each other, which can give you some advantage in a fight. Of course, the game is randomized, so you are never sure if this happens. But when this does happen, then you have a chance to basically get some powerful benefit. Which means, why do I need the card for my opponent deck? Especially if you realize this card is really obviously designed for priest dragon, which means with this kind of deck, you most likely need have more dragons. Which means if you discover card from your opponent deck, then you really don't get dragon unless you are super lucky and your opponent trying to do the same thing. Like, I don't think it's a. On top of that, this card. Well, actually, this card isn't that much overpowered. Its effect just make no sense. Like for this type of deck, you clearly need more dragons. Then why from opponent class? Why? I don't get it. On top of that, this card, just like some others which I mentioned in my previous episode, suffered with the effect which can be described slap in the face, because if you use some card which belong to your enemy against him, that's basically slap in the face. And I don't like this. I think if you play the game, and that is obviously good for you, but it's not good for your enemies, and that is my problem. Everyone should have good times when you play the game. You and your opponent the same time, not only one of you. I hate when game doing this, and this is the reason why I hate when cards with this effect. Same problem is this card and many on other priest card. And actually, recently, Rogue started doing something similar, and I just hate that. This card is not necessarily overpowered. I think it's relatively okay in terms of strength, but the effect just makes no sense. A, it's a slap in the face of your enemy, or in a slap you that if somebody plays these cards against you. And top of that, you don't need a grab a card from your opponent deck. You much more likely want a card which is like either from your deck or more dragons. So what the hell? Then we have this card, which this card is actually pretty strong actually. Huh. Not necessarily overpowered. It is stronger version of this card. I don't know what its name. But you know which card I have on my mind where we say you magic don't say you. This is basically a stronger version of this card, but for priest, which kinda makes sense because if you observe things, then you may notice cards which are class specific are usually stronger than neutral cards. So okay, this card is okay. Then we have this card, which is this is very strong card, and requirements are okay. Here's the thing. There was a time when only card which this kind of requirements was put only on Reno Jackson. If you don't have duplicates, he heal you completely. And that's the reason why this effect was so strong. The problem is, as a Blizzard adding more and more cards with the same effect, you can basically fill your deck with nothing but these cards, which make meeting these requirements much easier. I mean, I recently actually tried. I'd be able to make like deck would be nothing but the legendaries, and I actually failed because I don't have that much legendaries. But I was still able to create deck which was actually have lots of legendaries. Which mean if you do that, then still you have really strong deck, and I don't think it's overpowered. But I think if Blizzard wanna keep this make this mechanic like work properly and don't be overpowered, then they shouldn't do more of these cards because it's like every time you create this card with this effect, it's basically you basically creating making these requirements like much more easier to met and having you hero power for zero. That's pretty big deal. That's actually a really big deal, especially with Freeze because his hero power I think it's probably strongest of all. If I don't count the effects such as like Ragnaros or some others, but being able to cast it for free, if you combine this with a bunch of inspire cards, that can be pretty powerful. I'm not sure if this card is overpowered or not, or broken. Probably not. I think this card is okay. But over like in future can maybe be because as I said, one thing which can give you this powerful effect is if you need basically have this requirement for this card, and over course of time, as more and more cards is released, meet this requirement is over time easier and easier and easier. So right now it's relatively okay, but in future this card is not overpowered right now, but I believe it's become overpowered in future. This is probably one of those cards which I definitely do on my list because I really want this card. So yeah. And then we have Dragonfire Potion again. Why the hell potion? So I don't get it. Like priests are priests. They supposed to be like men of faith, and suddenly they are able to switch the shadow, but they are also psionic, and they also have some awareness of alchemy right now. You serious, Blizzard? I mean, this card actually, it's on the first looks, this card don't looks to be like super overpowered, but in reality, it is because it's the same thing like a Mage Flame Strike, except it's doing one more damage and it's cost one less mana. Only problem is it's doing damage to all minions, including yours. Except the dragon. The thing is, this limitation basically is turned on its head by fact the priest is one of those class where which Blizzard clearly planning them like giving them lots of dragons, which means if you make this kind of deck, then you most likely have in your deck nothing but the dragons. So the fact it's hurt your minions as well means absolutely nothing, which make this card again overpowered. But the problem is almost every time when a Blizzard decide to do some sort of theme and bunch of cards are basically get together, act like basically one style of playing. It happens almost every time, and it's almost every time it's broken and overpowered. It happened. It's happening with the hunter, with beast. There is also max decks. There is murlocs. There is obviously dragons, and I'm pretty sure it's happening with more things in the future. Well, technically, its own way, it's happened with the cartoon as well, but it's slightly different, works slightly different way, but in the end, it's pretty much same thing. So, like, I can understand there's like they Blizzard really wanna add new cards, but the only thing which seems to Blizzard to do, I'm actually over time more and more disappointed with new cards because only thing which Blizzard do, it's making cards more and more powerful, or pretty much do cards which are nothing but a stronger version of cards which are already in the game. I mean, come on, it's not that difficult like great card. I actually saw on YouTube bunch of videos with the people suggesting some really clever cards. So if Blizzard have like a feeling like we don't know what to do anymore and what kind of cards we need, then go and like do some announcement for your community. Like think about games such as Minecraft. They basically have this really strong connection between developer and the players, and they have this feedback which allow them like do more content. Basically, they reach the point where where I can talk where community basically create content for their own game. People love this kind of stuff. So don't make just the more stronger versions of things which are already in the game, or alternatives, or just simply stronger cards. Just ask your audience, ask your players what they want. Let make some sort of contest, like suggest some cards, like let's say every week, and let's say the winner cards basically be like at in the next expansion and have their name here, or maybe have its own card decks or something, or maybe some small kind of little bit of dust or coin, or maybe, or that will be probably best reward if the winner of this contest get the version its own card for free in the next expansion. It will be probably best kind of reward. Like I think because, like I said, people create some really clever cards, which I see. Some of them was not as good, but some of this was really good. So seriously, if you don't know what card to do, like ask your audience, ask gamers. There are some really smart people who suggesting some really freaking cool cards. So please, Blizzard, do that. I will be like really grateful. Anyway, so that is priest. So let's move the road. So we have this card, which is basically like a weaker version of druid cards. I said with druid card, the card is overpowered because it's giving you one crystal for no reasons, and this card can basically do exactly the same thing. So these cards shouldn't exist in the first place because I don't believe it's like rogues are already as strong as they are. They don't need this kind of mechanic. So this card is unnecessary and little too strong. Then we have this thing which Okay, I think combos are generally overpowered. So this is simply another one. Then we have the golems, steel golems, which, as I said before, I think jade golems are interesting idea, but I think the mechanic is a little overpowered here. Simply because it could be really game breaking, especially to like, especially with this card, for example. This card by itself don't seems to be too overpowered, but to combine this card with what's the card which giving you three extra copies of this card? Like this card by itself is not overpowered, but the mechanic which they use is. That is basically like different version of how Cthulhu's cards work. Fortunately, unlike Cthulhu, there is not nearly as many of these cards, but at the same time, can be technically stronger. I don't know. Only time will show if this work or if this is broken or not. But I should use this kind of feature a little more carefully because you never know. This card is okay. This is basically like Magma Ranger. I know there's many people who laugh like Magma Ranger is basically worst card in the game, and there's many people who think this way, and this card is no exception. The ways this card can get a little bit of edge due to the fact it's stealth. So you can do at least one powerful attack, but that's about it. The card can still die really quickly, and I don't think it's too good. Not necessarily bad, not necessarily broken, but it's simply too weak. Way too weak. Okay. Now we have discussed. Now we're going to have the random card for me. Okay, this is same thing which I said before. Why from opponent's class? Why? A, you don't need them because you need cards from your class, most likely. B, it's a slap in your face. I don't want to repeat myself again. I hate this. The card is not necessarily overpowered, but the mechanic is just broken, unfortunately. And we have this card. I think this card is actually okay. I don't feel like it's overpowered. I mean, the conditions can give you this card can give you like really decent boost, but at the same time, conditions are actually not super easy to match. So I don't know. And we have a discard which actually is also okay. Let's move on, and we have this thing which, if your weapon has at least three attack guide or okay, that's fine. That is same thing as I said before. Like if you have a theme for one type of enemy, it's usually broken and overpowered. This happened with Murloc, Max, and I also forget to mention Pirate. So too strong, too overpowered, too broken. Anyway, I think that's it for today. So we will continue next time with the Shaman and Warlock. There's also a few cards. Other than that, is everything for the day. So, as always, thanks for your time, and I will see you later.